Wait a second.
Let's call meeting to order. And I guess we'll begin with, but there's no reports of retired officers. Do we need a motion?
No.
Okay. Renewal of staff appointments.
Yes, so, included in your packet, memo outlining, seeking approval for renewal of the following staff appointments for April 2025 through March 2026. As follows, Michael Sutter, Ethics Officer, Susan Campbell, EEO Officer, Aaron Jenkins, FOIA OMA Officer, and Assistant Secretary, Paula Hughes, DBELO Officer, and Xavier Whitford, Assistant Treasurer.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the renewal of staff appointments.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve last month's minutes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
We just need to, go through our meeting dates for the rest of this year and next year. So it's the fourth Monday of the month at 3:30, if you wanted to keep that.
Yeah, we can officially keep it.
Okay.
Right, make a motion if you would. I'll make a motion to approve the schedule for the remainder of the year until March 2026.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Just jumping back real quickly, election, you said reports of retiring officers, no reports of retiring officers, election of new officers.
But I think we do need a motion.
If they're gonna keep their same position, do they need a motion to keep their same position as their existing officers as chair
Yes.
and vice chair?
Yep.
I would make that motion.
Okay.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
At least that I got. Okay. Okay, so then we get into the regular items on the agenda. Had one change to the agenda, previously approved, under E8, item A, authorization, that line item for item A, we're going to remove that from the agenda today. So, with that, we'll jump into the main agenda. Okay, keep it short, nothing new really in terms of the legislative front, either at the federal or state level, or any other items that I was gonna touch upon today. Let's just get into the regular board business, if that's okay. Starting out with E2 finance. First off, payment of bills, the AGHL services rendered through March 31st, or that's the only one in the packet today. Submit for your review. Any questions on that particular one? No questions on that. Then we'll move on to the approval of accounts payable invoices. This month's invoices for approval total $549,719.97. If there's any question on that, be happy to answer. Otherwise, motion for approval.
I did have a question just on the estimate for the professional benefit admin, the main health insurance. Is that basically an allowance until we get us a locked in number?
Susan, that's our regular.
I think that's just our monthly cost to them, not claims.
Okay.
Like a per employee per month.
Got it. Okay. I would make a motion then to approve the invoices. So the accounts payable invoices.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Yeah, great. Next item, we have the approval of the unaudited financial statements for February of 2025. Xavier, you want to?
Yep, so February financials, so for the month of February, we're about $90,345 under budget projections, which is about 4.2%. Salary and benefits are about $64,000 lower than originally budgeted for just this month. We have had some increased expenses for some services and utilities and insurance premiums for February. Otherwise, expenses are on or under budget. Year to date so far for operating revenue, we're about $43,405 over budget. Salary and fringes are about $332,000 under budget year to date. And most of the other areas are under budget year to date, except for casualty and liability insurance, which is about 12% over budget, primarily due to some physical damage insurance premium increases. But overall, we're looking good.
Questions?
Like the summary. I like this.
Good. Glad it's helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
I was curious just about the salary and benefits being lower. Is that just due to fewer number of people like being understaffed, or is that just I guess a different situation of why that's lower at this time?
Headcount. So, when we originally drafted the budget from the prior year, there was some plan for additional service, of which we didn't fully implement all of those additional services, the evening, Saturday, and some of the expansion of Sunday that we originally had provided in the budget. That's what then causes those numbers from a budget standpoint to be high, right, compared to actuals. So that's the delta in there, because of the anticipated or planned potential for those throughout the course of the year. Which is the same thing we did in the proposed budget for this.
Otherwise, I don't have any questions. I would make a motion to approve the unaudited financial statement for February.
Second, all in favor?
Okay, thank you. Item C, then, the pension portfolio review for the period through April 15th, and pension investment statement for the month ending March 31st. Information with the Benedetto in the packet for review. Are there any questions on that?
No questions. I appreciated the summary he provided because we all knew it was going to not necessarily look super promising for the last month, given just what was happening. So helpful to have his commentary on that, though, to explain and just flesh out that, yes, it's not great, but we're not surprised either.
Hang it. Right? Yeah. All right. No other questions on that. We can move on to the next section. So E3, the operations maintenance facility report. Item A, operations report. Dan, you want to cover your?
Yeah. You'll see on the fixed route, we're down a little bit, March to March, but overall for the year, revenue's up, and ridership is pretty flat from 24 to 25, same time period. On the paratransit demand response, again, we're a month behind on that. Ridership was down a little bit from January to February, but if you do remember, February we had that cold weather stretch there where a lot of canceled rides. So moving forward, our apologies for being a month behind on that. We're still working through the reporting side of the TripSpark. Troy spent a lot of time with TripSpark trying to, we know what we know the stuff we need. It's just going into TripSpark and finding the actual report that generates what we need, compared to what we had with Route Match. So hopefully by next month we'll be a little more timely on and being able to pull that information out. So
customization reports that we need to have that were driven by state line mass transit districts data needs, and so it's we can get the general numbers, but the specific numbers that we need for their information we have to customize some reports.
We've literally sent the reports, our old reports, to TripSpark and said this is the information we need. What report do we need to get it out in yours? So again, Troy's done a nice job, especially for being new to the system, sorting through all that stuff. So hopefully it's less of an issue. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, will they do that back end work then for the report and then give it back to us so that we just kind of run it each time after that?
Yeah, so they have to tweak some of their reports, but that they will do that for us, and then once they're set, they're set. Okay. We should be great moving forward. It's just getting the initial stuff set up the way we're getting the numbers we want, the numbers that Xavier needs, and a few others that for our reporting purposes. Because there's a lot of breakdowns. You get into the Boone County stuff, and there's a lot of moving parts to it with the SMTD stuff, where what kind of ride it is and fare type and everything. So we're slowly getting through there. So we appreciate your patience on that. Any questions on that?
I'm just kind of curious what SMTD requires that's a little different or more detailed from
So Xavier may be able to answer that a little better than I do. I don't get too involved in the billing side of it.
Yeah, they just require a few more breakdowns, I guess, of like they want to see things per week, per month, you know, and then the different ridership categories. There's just a lot of things that we pull specifically for them that maybe we don't need for our own reporting
Like
processes.
Roscoe or Rockton, is it
Yeah.
Roscoe or Rockton ride
Yeah,
or South Beloit
township
ride?
versus-
Township, yes,
Mhm.
that's what I was looking for, instead of just naming them all.
And,
Yeah.
and the fair allocation across those jurisdictions.
Right, like
Yeah.
even for their veteran free rides, they need to know what area it came from, so there's a lot more fair categories for them than we would normally have.
For us, it's straightforward. It's you're a paratransit rider, you're not a paratransit rider, then you're a Medicaid rider. So we really only have two on our side. That's simple.
And then just on the passenger portal rollout, is that still anticipated for about a month out or?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna talk about it a little later on, but yeah, so me, Mike and Troy, talked today. So we're gonna try to roll it out in early May. I can just jump to that. I'll skip ahead here to the project report. So, you know, we're still working through some issues with Trip Spark. They did an update that still causing us some issues. So we are having to manually manipulate about 100 rides a day at least.
Yeah, 56 subscriptions, you know, one each way, so double that number. And that's a general number too. It could be a little higher, a little lower.
So we're still working through that. On the upside, we have received the passenger portal training. BCCA, they're ready to train. So that part is moving forward. So they've been telling us this portal is ready to go, and they don't feel that the issues with this last update are going to affect that portal. So we're looking to go ahead and roll it out, probably the first couple weeks of May, and see how it goes. We're not quite sure yet. If we're gonna roll it out to everybody, or if we're gonna do a small select group to start with, to see how it goes. But the plan is to get it out, because at this point, you know, we're not gonna know if the issues are gonna be issues in the portal until we roll it out. So I guess at this point, roll it out and see what happens.
On the RMT specific side.
Yes.
That's our, we'll look at the RMT side and put pause on the SMTD side, go out in the meantime and test it and make sure that we're seeing positive activity there and it's not creating any other issues. But yeah, that's the plan. And we just had a project call this morning as well, and just followed up with, you know, here's where we're at and this is what we can achieve. And so Dan and Troy feel comfortable with, you know, targeting the first week or two of May here at this point. So we'll follow it up with some outreach and communication folks on what they can expect. But that's, you know, we're not quite where we wanted to be, and obviously staff is dedicating a lot of time to rolling this out and taking away from the day-to-day of, you know, managing the service, but making progress. And at the same time, you know, it's not only an RMTD project, but it's also an SMTD project and also a Boone County project. And so, you know, allocating resources to help both of those entities move along with us to roll this out is, you know, and we're on different timelines too, right? Boone County has not turned their system on yet. They're in a different transition period with that. And so we're helping bring them on board as part of this process yet. And so that's part of that full rollout. It's just not an RMTD thing, it's an SMTD and a Boone County project.
Thank you for the extra.
Sure. I'll go back to the vehicle maintenance report. Fixed route vehicles were in fairly good shape. We had a couple vehicles that were off site for some body repair that were back in service. The maintenance spot's same. We're actually going down Friday to start taking delivery of a total of 14 vans, 8 for us, 6 for SFTD. So we'll get 3 of them Friday, slowly get them in service. We still are waiting to get paperwork back for the camera install. So they won't be in service too quick. But overall, we're in pretty good shape with that fleet, so we're not overly concerned. So it's going to kind of be, we're going to do chunks of 2 or 3 instead of trying to roll out 14 at one time, which is a lot of work. So project report, facility report. You know, we kind of caught up schedule maintenance. We're kind of between seasons now, where hopefully we're done with the snow. We've started some outside work again, but in a little bit, those guys have been helping with some of the getting rid of old files and stuff in preparation for the construction project. So So project report, facility expansion, you probably saw, it's back going like gangbusters. Our street closure went a few days longer than we anticipated, but we got it worked out. We were able to get them to have it done Friday night, so the street was open for Court Street, for Easter services. Me and Randy Darnell, our project manager, we did meet with Pastor Cal over there to let him know the impact because the street was obviously closed. They were very understanding. The law office was very understanding. So we were able to do it where people still had access. There was not some parking over there, so the street was still open to the bank, Ferguson Law Office and the church, so. But it was open for Easter Sunday, so.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, he was.
And we coordinated all of the construction activities and had scheduled shutdown periods to complement their services that they had scheduled during the
Yeah,
week as well. So we were
Yep.
able to manage around their activities to reduce disruption.
Yeah, they had a funeral on Tuesday. It was kind of threw a wrench into things, but yeah. So, it's moving pretty well. They're doing the water line today and they're keeping up with the sanitary. The electricians are still here working. I think there's 14 trucks hauling dirt in and out of here today, so it's been pretty chaotic, the last few days, but, we're moving right along. So, there's gonna be a street closure on Winnebago Street next week, which, won't really affect our passengers, but the way the buses come in, we'll have to do a little reroute on that. So that's to run the sanitary on the Winnebago Street side.
I think just next month, we will get a date from the contractor on how much time they've picked up in the schedule. Obviously, through all the change orders, they fell behind for the winter time and they anticipated to be doing all of this. So I think they were about 70 days at one
Right.
point of behind schedule. So I think, as they've gotten back going here, I think they're picking up time. So we'll get an update next month on, where they're at.
Yeah, other than snagging a fiber optic cable, it's gone pretty smooth. So they're making pretty good time. So right now, so we'll have to see that the weather's cooperating. So, and we continue to have meetings with them every 2 weeks. So, but, I'm on site every day. Good communication between the general contractor and us, so, and our project manager, so.
And what was that? Sorry,
Sure.
the finish date, I mean, even if the 70 days added, what was that landing roundabout?
Well, I don't even know anymore, to be honest with you, that's so long.
So
They're
first,
reworking the schedule, so we don't have an updated schedule right now.
the first phase, they were anticipating roughly, which is that building, they were looking at January of next year, roughly, right?
Thank you, yeah,
For
I
occupancy.
totally lost track of it, so.
So, where they're at on that, we'll see how much they pick up, and there's a lot that can change between now and then, obviously, but, that's where they'll be at, and they'll build the second phase schedule off of that, so we should be getting an update here shortly.
Thank you, I got a bad memory. And the telephone system replacement, we did take that back out as we discussed at the last meeting. It's been reissued and those bids will be open on May 21st. And then, it's an RFP, so staff will evaluate and we'll award 2 weeks later. That's all I have on that, unless there's any other questions. All right,
Thank you.
I got a couple of, procurements. The first one is some fare box replacements. So as we've been buying new buses, we've updated our fare boxes to what they're called fast fares, which have a little more technology than our older systems. So, but we still have quite a bit of the older style in our fleet. So, we identified some funding that will cover, purchasing, how many is there? 7? Yes, 7 of the updated ones. So we'll replace those. So at the end of the day, once we get all these new ones in the fast fares, there'll be some options for our passengers to use some newer technology that we can't utilize now because we have a mixed fleet. So, we got a couple bids on them. We did have $178,920 in 5339 funds to purchase, so no local funds are needed. Gen Fare was the low bid at $127,071. So, staff is recommending that we issue a purchase order to Gen Fare in that amount to purchase 7 fast fare boxes.
I would make the motion to approve the award for, the purchase order for Gen Fair.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you. And the second one is for battery electric chargers that are separate procurement, but it's part of the building. These chargers will go into the expansion building. So, we're looking at these Heliox chargers, which is different than what we have here, but, we're very pleased with how they've been, as part of this contract. So, we think we're gonna be happy with them. So, budget wise, there's some FTA community project funding of 1,184,333, along with roughly 475,000 FTA 5339 funds. So again, no local funds will be needed. We're buying these through Gillig off the state of Virginia contract, which is a contract that we have purchased buses off of in the past. So the price for the 20 chargers will be $1,659,000. And so, staff is recommending, approval to issue the PO to Gillig contingent on the state of Virginia allowing us to be part of the procurement, which is a formality, but has to happen before it can happen, so. Any questions on that?
No question, just a comment that it's really, nice to see continuing leverage of additional funds that don't require local match.
Yes.
Or even involvement, so nice to see that leveraged. I would make a motion to approve the award of purchase order to Gillig for 20 Heliox chargers in the amount of $1,659,000.
Second, all in favor?
All right, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Great. Moving on then to E4 Human Resources, the claims history report for March, included in your packet. If you have any questions on that, obviously year to date, we're back up again, March compared to previous March, and year to date, as you know, that continues to come in flow.
I did have to go back and make an adjustment to October, not in our favor. So that increased the year over year percentage slightly. Unfortunately, sometimes claims don't get paid. You have to go back and fit on them. And next month, we should have our insurance broker here to talk about our renewal. Hopefully it won't be too painful.
I have a feeling it won't go down. They never usually do it.
Never does, regardless.
Any questions there then? Move on to the next item, E5 marketing, with marketing update in your packet. Leno, anything you want to hit upon there?
No, pretty much outlined everything that, went down this month. Any questions or concerns or clarifications?
I saw you were at the Y. I'm just curious how it went with seniors being interested in the free ride program.
Very well, very well. When I talked to the operations manager, when we was first setting it up at the Y, we talked about possibly a second date where we can create mobile IDs for them. But it just depended on their interest in them. But when I was there from 9/11, they were in there, working out, very interested, into getting those mobile IDs and riding around. So a lot of them didn't know about the senior citizen program. So that was encouraging. So I think they were definitely going to have a second date for the mobile ID. So and dealing with senior citizens is always fun because they don't hold back. So
Just to note, obviously, the Rockford Crisis Nursery and their response to our partnership on Stuff the Bus, another successful event, and their appreciation for that. So thank you,
Yeah,
Orlando, and
kind words.
our operator for their participation in that.
Thank you.
So that, any other questions? We can move on to the next item, which is the approval of service request this month. So Orlando.
yeah, Rockford City Market is back, starts May 16th until September 5th. As you know, we provide a free trolley for this event every year. It's always fun, always good to, get, our vehicle out there and let people ride for free, kids and all that type of thing. So it's coming up and we just need approval for it to do it again this year.
I don't have any questions. I think it's a great thing. It helps people get more comfortable with public transit and seeing it out and about in a fun way. So, I think the motion to approve the special service request for the trolley for city.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Moving on, we have the grant section E6, approval of resolution 25-04. This is an FTA 5310 grant application. The The application is for one medium-duty paratransit vehicle using federal fiscal year 23 lapsing funds in the amount of $9,092, as well as federal fiscal year 24 funds in the total of $122,908. Combined total for the vehicle is $132,000. So looking for approval for the purchase of that for one replacement vehicle. As you know, the 5310 funds are apportioned to the urbanized area every year, and IDOT and RMT are co-designated recipients. We have a process we go through in which R1PC is our MPO does a call for projects. So we have a number of nonprofits or social service agencies who apply for that, as well as RMTD and Boone County on an annual basis. And so we're putting in an application for replacement one, and our project was awarded funds for that. And so make sure we get those lapsing funds awarded and leverage those for the purchase. And so there's no local funds involved with this. They'll be matching TDCs from the state and no local funds. So it's not to worry.
Make a motion to approve resolution number R2504, FP310, the grant application.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Then E7 safety and training report for March, submitted for review in the packet. Are any questions on the information there? Okay. Seeing them, we can move on then to E8. So we have, as we mentioned before, item A was pulled, so we're on to B, which is executive session. But prior to doing that, I want to confirm the next scheduled meeting date of May 19th.
Got that scheduled.
Yep.
So we're good with that.
Yes, we are good.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll turn it over to Aaron.
All right, we'll go into executive session to discuss the semi-annual review of executive session meeting minutes pursuant to 5 ILCS 120 CC 21 and to discuss collective bargaining matters pursuant to 5 ILCS 122 C2 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. So for E8C, pursuant to 5 ILCS 122 C21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, no less than semi-annually, a public body must review minutes of all closed session meeting minutes. So I wanted to let you know that what I had presented in the memo, I have reviewed those meeting minutes, and RMTD staff is requesting the RMTD board approved to keep the presented executive session meeting minutes confidential at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve the executive meeting minutes listed in the memo, confidential. For the time being.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Then item D, matters arising out of executive session regarding approval of the Teamsters contract.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Teamsters contract as presented.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. And
That
that's our last
concludes our
item.
meeting.
Yes.
Please. Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.